Why don't you
wait till the sun shines, Nelly, when the clouds go drifting by? We will be happy, Nelly, don't you cry, my honey. Down Lover's Lane we'll wander, sweet.
Trying to appreciate it from the historical perspective and appreciate what's going on here right now.
But I have the happy task of telling you why this magnificent building, built as a Methodist church in 1822, is the first and the most significant. Here are a few footnotes. A Methodist church in Danby was earlier, but it was torn down the same year as this building was constructed. A Methodist church in Wells was also earlier, but the building was never completed, and then it was moved and finally torn down. And an earlier Methodist church in Pittsford was not completed and then abandoned. This is the first Methodist church in our area built to last. When you build with stone, you are building for the ages. The construction was a statement. At the time, the east and west villages of Poultney were battling for preeminence. It involved where the churches were, where the main post office should be. This building helped establish the west village as Poultney with no geographic designation. Throughout its history, the stone church was a meeting house for the town, first as a church, then for lectures, then for a time as a district school, and now we're meeting here again as an art center. The most important speaker to have lectured inside this building, or perhaps right out here, was William Miller, who predicted Christ's second coming would occur in 1844. Although a humble man, Miller started a mass movement and was the equivalent of a rock star. As a historian, I have to say he almost certainly lectured here, for I've never seen an original document that states the venue precisely. But it's a little like knowing that a world-renowned concert pianist played in New York City, almost certainly in Carnegie Hall. Meanwhile, this building continued to serve the community of Poultney. In 1841, a new Methodist church was built on Main Street to be closer to Troy Methodist Conference Academy, the predecessor of Green Mountain College. After the Methodists moved to their new home, the stone church changed hands several times. But even while it was again a church, it was important in the life of the entire town. I've been researching Poultney during the Civil War and came across a mention of the stone church. This is from the Rutland Herald. The ladies of West Poultney will hold a strawberry festival at the Stone Church on Wednesday evening, July 1st, 1863. Strawberries, ice cream, and other refreshments will be provided. July 1st, 1863, by the way, was the first day of the Battle of Gettysburg. In 1869, Henry Ruggles purchased, or maybe repurchased, the building and promptly sold it to the Morning Star Lodge, number 37, of free and accepted Masons, of which he was worshipful master. You can see the deed inside, by the way. And so the longest period in this building's history began. The Freemasons were an elite organization. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and the Marquis de Lafayette were Masons. As many as 21 signers of the Declaration of Independence were Masons. There were Masons among Poultney's founders as well. And in 1869, this building became the Masonic Lodge. Downstairs was a district school, and for a time, town offices. Upstairs was the formal Masonic meeting room. The door still has a sliding peephole to check who wanted admittance to the ceremonies. Here are just a few highlights. In 1907, the Evergreen chapter of Eastern Star, a related organization for women, was chartered. The Greek Revival style portico, these magnificent columns, was added about 1918. The Poultney Lodge is now merged with the Castleton Lodge, which continues to donate to worthy causes in Poultney. In 2007, this building was purchased for use as a community arts center, but I'm not going to tell that story. There are others here who know it firsthand. I want to sit down and listen. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sarah Pelkey. I am the Economic Development Coordinator for the town of Poultney. I'm grateful to be here today and to help Stone Valley Arts celebrate this accomplishment in this day. The work that I am doing is guided by the community. It begins and ends with the community in terms of what we want to see here, what we want to build here. And I would like to take this opportunity to remind everyone that this was a goal of earlier planning called Poultney 2020. The three goals of that planning project were to revitalize the town's walking trails, create a pocket park for Slate Quarry Park, and establish a home for the arts. And I think this community is doing an amazing job, so we need to take a moment and recognize that. Not only has Stone Valley Arts been a steadfast partner in many community projects, but it has partners with area schools, nonprofits, and businesses to make the arts accessible to the entire community. It has attracted people to this town and has had a wonderful display of performance exhibits and displays over the past couple of years. But most importantly, Stone Valley Arts is providing a place for the community to tell its story. It is supporting a community that is valuing its social networks, which is one of the things that we do to create a healthy community. So I would like to take this moment to celebrate and to pause and reflect on all of the ways that Stone Valley Arts is supporting this community and its redevelopment, and be grateful for this beautiful home, this beautiful building that have brought us all together today. Thank you.
Part of our task as the board of directors of Stone Valley Arts is to take care of the building. And we've done many things to revitalize the physical structure. And none of that would have been possible without the support from Preservation Trust of Vermont. And so we have here Representative Meg Campbell to give us a few words of the progress.
Thank you so much for having me here today. It's really a pleasure on this beautiful day to be standing here before you all. My name is Meg Campbell. I'm the Vice President of the Preservation Trust. For those of you that aren't familiar with the Trust, we're a nonprofit organization dedicated to building community through preservation and revitalization of Vermont's historic buildings, villages, and downtowns. For over 40 years, we've worked across Vermont, providing technical assistance and funding to communities trying to preserve historic buildings and advocating for state policies that help preserve the integrity of our historic built landscape. Last year, we worked in 246 projects in 141 towns. Our late President Paul Brune, whom I'm sure many of you might have known, always said that he had the best job in Vermont. He was right, and one of the reasons why is because at the Trust, we have the honor of working with community champions like the people here in Poultney. to save places that Vermonters love. What could be better than that? For those of you who don't know the story of our involvement here, about 8 years ago, the then owners of this building, Irene Minkoff and Rita Fuchsberg, came to us with the hope of finding a good future for this place, then known as Fox Hill. In 2015, they gifted the property to the Preservation Trust, and we held on to it while a different arts group became ready to assume ownership of the building. After some hard work proving themselves, Stone Valley Arts acquired the building in 2018 and established themselves here as Stone Valley Arts at Fox Hill. Irene saw the great potential for this property and hoped and dreamed that this infusion of new interest and energy would manifest as a place for sharing talents, interests, and wisdom with her neighbors, a true community center in the spirit of Vermont. It thrills us at PTV to say that dreams really do come true. Under the leadership of Director Erica Lawler, Stone Valley Arts has worked hard to provide opportunities for artists, students, and families to attend classes, concerts, art shows, and literary and theater events, engaging the abundance of local musicians, authors, and theater and dance companies, as well as create arts to nurture and build trust among community members, especially during these last few uncertain years, has been magnificent to watch. PTV's role didn't end with the property transfer, though. We've been lucky enough to award grants for work on the building in partnership with the 1772 Foundation and the Johnson Family Foundation. In 2019, we also had the joy of awarding Stone Valley Arts a $100,000 Paul Brune Revitalization Grant. This is part of a national grant program named for our late president and honors him and his gift for rural revitalization in communities just like Poultney and in projects like this one that bring new life and vitality to villages and small towns. I'm thrilled to be here today celebrating the 200th anniversary of this building. When a building is built with enough care to last hundreds of years, we know that the people who built it believed in the future, that this place matters, that in fact those people knew we would be here today to celebrate their accomplishment and to steward the contribution they made to their community. Irene and Rita and Stone Valley Arts know too that this place is special, that community matters, that the buildings where we encounter each other as humans, neighbors, and friends, where we create and enjoy art together, are the places that must be protected and cared for. I thank all of you for your hard work caring for this place and getting to this moment here today. Congratulations on a job well done, and here's to another 200 years. I look forward to what the future holds.
Thank Preservation Trust of Vermont enough for their support. Since we have been here, as Sarah Meg just mentioned, we have got a huge grant that enabled us to put on a brand new slate roof. We're working on our front porch. We're painting the building. We have brand new electric system inside, and we've developed a beautiful ballroom upstairs.
Hello everyone, I'm Dick Weiss, and Burnham and I are the co-founders of Stone Valley Arts as an organization. You know, back when the community revitalization meetings were going on, it was Burnham's idea to bring up the idea of an art center. There were many, many wonderful ideas that came out of that meeting, but an art center was one of the top ones.
We were meeting at Green Mountain College in the Gorge. We had a morning where people were talking about how to start something more than just trouble. Once the votes were tallied, we met in the morning. We were at the Gorge, and then in the afternoon we were over here near the Catholic Church where their auditorium is. and we were brainstorming what to do. And once the votes were tallied, the Arts Center was one of the last four on the board. The others being a Poultney trail system, a town park, and a locavore restaurant. I was sort of pushed to understand what that was, but it was focusing on local foods. And as you know, our community has accomplished 3 out of 4, which is worth bragging about.
But others in the community joined in to help us in those initial efforts. I remember going to Neil Vreeland and Tracy Karras for their law expertise to start the 501c3 process and get that going. Matt Mayberry, a professor at Green Mountain College, was an organizational guru, and actually Matt is the one who came up with the name Stone Valley Arts. And Bill Prado, who was a professor at Green Mountain College, was instrumental in terms of helping us set up the business part of the organization at the very beginning. We had no money, but we forged ahead anyhow. Small donations here and there. I wanted to make a particular note. We wanted to have an art show. We didn't have any display panels. The Vreelands, Neil and Gail, came up with the money for us to buy the portable gray panels so that we could start the art exhibits. There was always donations for materials from Williams Hardware. A few dollars started to trickle in from our initial workshops. We offered some dance classes, drawing classes, designed a few classes for kids. I did a couple Native American flute making workshops. And we even had, I think it was Ruth Hamilton's idea, that we had a Halloween costume making workshop for kids. And the college students jumped in on that and brought sewing machines and fabric up to the top floor of the Journal Press building, and the kids made their own Halloween costumes.
In the beginning, we had no space of our own, but we were able to find space in the library, the community meeting house over on Bentley Avenue, the large space on the top of the Journal Press building, and a Dick studio. David Mook came aboard in those early days, along with a number of other volunteers, to help share the load. Chuck Colvin, who's here today, made a generous offer of a free space in the Journal Press building for a couple of years to help provide a base for our programming, and things began to shape up. I think we could say without Chuck, he caught us at the right moment when we needed help. Nothing would have happened if it had not been for so many volunteers who came forward when we needed them.
As many of you know, I taught at Green Mountain College for 21 years, and the college was instrumental in those early years. We've mentioned 2 of the professors already, but we also had some students who did their internships for Green Mountain College. One was Sway Zau, who is from Myanmar, and she's currently escaped to Thailand, away from the military coup. Bianca Zanella, who's sitting out here on the grass, came on board to do an internship, and she helped develop the original mailing lists and do the original publicity for us and set up, who to contact for doing publicity all over. All of that stuff had to be done from scratch. Students from Green Mountain College organized some of the first community art exhibits, one of which I remember Jessica Cooney's class took over a storefront, an empty storefront on Main Street, and did a community juried art show as a practice event for the students at the college. So when we needed help, we always knew we could find someone, and someone at the college who could pitch in and have the right expertise that we needed at the moment.
The amazing growth we have seen since then could not have happened if it were not for the experienced leadership of Executive Director Erica Lawler-Schmidt, current Board President Gary Schmidt, and the wonderful dedicated members of the SVA Board.
I just want to thank you all for being here and in supporting this event. As I have said many times, how Stone Valley Arts is here now is sort of a unusual cosmic alignment between Rita, Fuchsberg, Irene, Minkoff, the Preservation Trust, and Stone Valley Arts. So I want to thank the speakers. I want to thank you for being here. And I think a lot has been said. It is our 7th year in this building, and it is really something to celebrate. Our accomplishments. They've been collectively. I couldn't do this alone. The board has been very, very supportive and a lovely, lovely group of people. I brag about them all the time. And the community and the community of artists have also, they just kept showing up, and particularly through the pandemic. That was a really hard time. Vermont Arts Council had a lot to do with supporting organizations like us and artists across the state. So, and the Preservation Trust. It's really, for a small state, this is a pretty unique situation that I really appreciate. So I'm not going to really talk anything more about our programming because we have a brand new website. We received a grant from the Vermont Arts Council to redesign our website. We had an in-house team, Martin Van Buren III and Donna Giovanna, who are on our board, who did a beautiful job recreating our website. Please do check it out because that's where you're going to find all of your information about our events. And please pick up a brochure, which was designed by another board member of ours, Patty McWilliams. So, so wonderful to have all this creative energy here and working together. So I'm very, very optimistic about the future of Stone Valley Arts, and I'm optimistic about the future of Poultney. It's a unique town. There's so many wonderful events coming in the fall, but I'm not going to go into that. But please do check that new website out. It's beautiful, it's user-friendly, and pick up a brochure. And last but least, I think Gary already talked about what's coming next. We have the Welsh Choir and the Backyard Brass Band and chicken and strawberry shortcake, and then the group hug at 3 o'clock, and then we have the BBQ Barbershop Quartet. These are...
Okay, 1, 2, is there a photographer here?
So we're so excited to have this historical marker. Ennis and I got to serve as history detectives and putting all of the history of the old stone church, so do check that out when you come in to see the artwork. But the newest historical sign for Poultney.
This afternoon, the hymns/songs we will be singing are those that are traditional to Wales.
If you know some of these Welsh hymns, I've actually, the first hymn is Rachie, which is Evil Ring Sydd Fel Alone, if you know Welsh. But we're not singing it in Welsh. And I chose some different words than the usual one because we wanted a happy sound.
I ask unto thee.
And for the group hug, we're going to make circles, concentric circles around the heart and put our arms around. And then when I say, everybody bring it in, then we'll give a little squeeze. And then the bonus hug, face the building hand in hand and go as far as we can to maybe look like we're giving the building a hug for its 200th birthday. And here's the poem, Bring Back the Hug. Before the virus, people didn't think twice about walking up to a friend and greeting them with a warm embrace. Then COVID came and took the hug and so much more away. Bring back the hug, I say, it's time. Bear hugs, group hugs, side hugs, hugs where you sway together, hugs where you pat each other on the back. Hugs, not drugs, that's still a thing, isn't it? This world needs more hugs, now more than ever. Hug your neighbor, hug your lover, hug a stranger, hug your friends, hug your dog, hug your cat if she'll let you, hug a tree, hug yourself. You get the idea. Let's hug again and make this troubled world a more loving place. It's not too late. It's not too late. Bring back the hug, I say. We can start today.
Why don't you wait till the sun shines, Nellie, when the clouds go drifting by? We will be happy, Nellie, don't you cry, my honey, down Lover's Lane we'll wander, sweethearts, you and I. Wait till the sun shines, Nellie, by and by and take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out of the old ball game. The gang sing this song. Take me out to the ball game, take me